What do you got? All right. We are looking at Hyperion. And this is your next, well, this isn't your trade. This shitty ticker is a trade that you had on last year, but it's going to lead up. This is a prequel to what you're currently in. So the story, this is your Bizarro trade for 2025. One of them that lost you money. And this isn't why you're in your current trade, but this is, again, the backstory. You end up getting into this ticker up here. Again, your Bizarro world. You top tick this practically, and you got shaken out over here. Luckily, you haven't held on to that position because it wouldn't have done dick for you. And you got out the middle of November. Normally, you tend to buy when the MACD is down here and you sell when it's up here. And seemingly that would have probably made you some money, but it didn't. The strategy isn't a genius strategy. It isn't back tested. It's made you money before, but look, the strategy isn't. You're not fucking storming the beaches of Normandy with this fucking strategy, bro. It's you're making some money. You've made some money. It's worked for you. And let's leave it at that. Fast forward a couple of months and you end up getting into this position PURR. Now, the reason why you got into this position, not that you did the research and found it some way, somehow, but because you had experience with the previous ticker hyped, Hyperliquid was on your radar because of the money that you lost. Maybe you were still sore, but you knew it existed and you kind of understood it. You end up subscribing to a Substack, and you tell your wife, "Hey, can you do me a solid and fast forward me my allowance because it's the holidays?" So she hooks you up and you end up getting the subscription. One of the theses from this big brain dude is this thing. You read it, y te cuesta, güey. Te cuesta because it's not easy for you. The reality is that you took remedial classes at community college.
I do speakers, okay? I don't do tests.
This is unbelievable. I mean, what happened to needing brotherhood now more than ever? They need us.
Come on, Mitch, college is overrated anyway. I built Speaker City from the ground up. I can barely read.
True. This,
which is probably fucking, what would that be equivalent to? That would be equivalent to probably, it probably wouldn't even be freshman high school classes. Maybe middle school class. I don't know, but you fucking took them and you barely passed them from your recollection. This was many, many years ago. So you reading the theses, you reading that shit made sense to you. And you said, cool, I'm going to get in. You entered this position at this green arrow was your first purchase. It was the beginning of the year. You end up selling that position here. You get back in down here at this green arrow. You sell at this red arrow up here. Both these trades have made you money. You get back in April the 7th or 8th. And then at that point, you tell yourself, you know what, dude, stop fucking around. Just hold on to this shit. Look at the trend. The trend is going up. And there's no history on this ticker. So your cycles and your patterns and the fact that you like puzzles isn't helping you on this trade. So your fucking your unbelievable knowledge of puzzle making is not going to improve this trade. So you tell yourself, hey, stop fucking around. Just buy and hold. It looks like this ticker is going to continue to go up. So you did that. You have a position here. You're on sides, which is good. Fast forward a couple of days. I believe, no, let's go back. At the end of March, it was March the 25th that they opened up options. You start buying options on the 27th, and those options were to expire September, and they did well for you. You ended up getting out of all those options in the middle of April, around here and here. I think this is where you exited your last couple of options. So you made money. If you would have known that the ticker was going to fucking be up here at $12, you would have held on and done well. But you didn't. You didn't. And that's the frustrating thing, is that although you made money, you look in hindsight, it's like, fuck, you could have, I'm sure that would have been 10x. For example, you end up getting back in to some June calls, 6 and 7 strike, June expiration. You buy, load up on some calls here. 2 days pass or 3 days pass. Come Thursday, you're out of town. You're hanging out with family. What do? You open up your laptop and the fucking market is taking a shit. So then at that moment, you start feeling like this guy. You get a case of the pussy balls and you sell out 75% of your position. Why? Because you have rules and you got to follow these fucking rules that sometimes don't make you money. And you appreciate a loss on all those calls. So you're carrying a fucking loss, but you still have 25% of that position, which is good. That was Thursday. Friday, you're still out of town, still hanging out with family, eating tacos, pinches chelas, tamales, menudo, all that shit, bro. You open up the fucking laptop, the good old laptop, and the market is doing just okay. Nothing blew up. It's that day, after a couple of beers, that you realize if all of April wasn't proof already, it was that day where you knew, you know what, there's nothing you could throw at this fucking thing that's going to make it go down for more than a couple of days, at least not at this point. Not at this point. So you make the decision to load up on calls again. And you start loading up on Monday. The market is red, but you say, fuck it. Tuesday, you load up again. Wednesday, you did it again. Oops, you fucking did it again. Luckily, it worked out. And for this green shaded square, you end up sporadically buying calls and you stop here. And a majority of these calls as of today are in the money, are doing well. So you still have 25% of the calls that you bought here, June strike. For whatever reason, there's a rule of thumb, or you have the rule of thumb, or you didn't come up with it, but you've read it several places, that you should exit options usually before the 21st day to expiration, because theta starts eating at you exponentially. I don't know, fucking, you really don't know verbatim, but you follow this rule of thumb. And so far, I guess it's kind of worked out. You exit all the remaining of that 25% fucking of calls. You exit here, and Mr. fucking market opens up on Friday. And that fucking thing, I think this ticker went up 10 to 15, 16%. I don't know, something crazy where you're like, what the fuck is going on? Who bought this shit, or who sent out the tweet? What the fuck is happening? And there's no more calls. There's no more June calls to sell because he sold them all. And you happen to make the mistake at looking at what those calls are getting sold for. And guess what you find out? The fucking calls that you bought for 60 cents, 70 cents, 75 fucking cents, they've gone up fucking tenfold. They were $6 and change. If you would have just fucking not done dick on this day, but just kept your mouth fucking open and stuffing them with all kinds of delicious fucking food, and not opened up your laptop, and of course sold on this day, you could have, I don't know what could have fucking happened, but you would have 10x'd your position, and that would have been great. But that didn't fucking happen, dude. Why? Because that's not how life works. kicks you in the nuts. It kicks you in the balls any chance it gets. So you didn't sell anything else because you got shaken out, and you said, dude, the fucking July calls, this fucking ticker's going to go back up, going to continue to go up. You didn't sell any of your July calls, any more of your September or December calls. And now the stock's gone down 2 days in a row. Crypto looks like shit. Hyperliquid, I believe it's down 16% today. So you're lying in the sand. This is what's going to happen moving forward. Moving forward, you're going to treat this thing like a fucking robot. No more emotional bullshit. No more emotions. Your line in the sand is this support fucking right here, which is about 850. At that point, I'm not saying that you're going to get rid of all your bag, but you're going to start unwinding your calls. You start with your July calls, because I'm sure those are the ones going to be down the most. But just so that you fucking remember, when you look back in a couple of days and you rewatch this shit, because this is your future self telling you, hey, self, this is like fucking Marty McFly coming back and telling you, hey, fucking Biff's a dick. Fuck that dude. So you listen to yourself. You're going to unwind your July calls if this ticker continues. You're not married to this fucking ticker. You're married already. You've married once, and that's enough. That's plenty. So you're going to get rid of it, and you're not going to fucking exit this position by round tripping. You're going to make some money. You're telling yourself this, so it's out in the universe. You're going to make some money, and this is going to be a very good trade for you. So, a ver qué pinche pedo. You listen to yourself, and good luck.